finally back home around 6:40, and I'm on the block. I'm like, why is that white lady coming over here? They be drunk as shit, right? And they be wandering over to the projects. I say, look at these bitches. They want to get some of that dope dealer dick.
Hello, black hole. See this brother winning, man. Hey, hey, look, it is a win, baby. It is a win, baby. It is a win, baby.
Well, hello there, lovebirds. Hello there, fellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's lookies will be our punk funk shades. Ooh, let me tell you something. That Rolling Ray had bought a pair from me, but his dirty little ass wouldn't tell nobody where he got it from. Okay, so now everybody asking him, but he being old bitch and don't want to tell nobody that he got them from me. These are the shades that Rolling Ray was wearing, okay? And if you want them, you go over there to Uptop Beauty. We got them in black, blue, red, and we do got some pink bling ones over there. So go on over there and check them out. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Oh, I love these. Now, let's continue talking about Mariah Carey's, the meaning of Mariah Carey. The military may have taken my father out of the Bronx, but it did not remove him from the perils of being a black man in America. While he was enlisted, a white woman at the base where he was stationed said he was raped and that a black man did it. Her father was a black man that was accused. I'm here in the military trying to contribute my service to this country, and here you are accusing me of putting my hands on a white woman. I don't know that lady. She don't know me, and I don't know her. Because he's a black man in a certain time, he's already automatically going to be, hey, you go over there in the corner. That's what you do. You go over there until we figure it out. My father was eventually released without any apology, support, or counseling. No, girl, that's not what the military do. That's not what they do. They still don't do that, girl. Oh, no. Let me take it back. While you're over there on the clock, oh, they tearing you up. They burning your brain up, child, and throwing drugs into you to make you happy. Hence all the junkies that came home from Vietnam, okay? And then when you get home, then they try to bandage you up, okay? But while you're out there, they don't care about what's happening to you, but they ain't gonna give you no kind of support while you over there. Like my ass done been in the military, girl. Let me shut the hell up. I don't know what's going on, but what I do know is that when them veterans come home, they be fucked up. And maybe y'all should worry about dealing with them mentally there instead of trying to bring them home after the damage is done and fix them up. Why don't you go through all that counseling, side by side? Okay, this is how you become a killing machine, okay? And then here go to therapy for us teaching you how to become a killing machine. The military's only explanation was that they had apprehended the actual culprit. With a government-issued gun in hand, he walked straight out of the prison to the top of the hill. Consumed with trauma and rage, he thought of pulling the trigger. And he wasn't thinking about committing suicide. And you don't think that rage still manifested in him and was a part of how he reared his children? By today's standards, my father would have been considered a hipster. After the military, he moved to Brooklyn Heights, drove a classic Porsche Speedster, and prepared authentic Italian dishes in his kitchen. Oh, how I lived for my father's cooking. He made a mean sausage and peppers and delicious parsley meatballs. But his linguine with white clam sauce was sublime. The scent of garlic in hot olive oil, boiling pasta, and the salty sea are what the best Sundays smelled like to me. I loved Sundays. Those were the days I spent with my father. And our meals together were what I looked forward to the most. On Sunday, my father's mother, Hatee, was there. A rare occasion. I don't think I was more than 5 years old. It began a typical Sunday. My father spending the entire day meticulously preparing his signature dish. He shucked and cleaned every clam, sliced the garlic, and chopped the aromatic flat Italian parsley. It was such a process, a ritual rather. As per usual, I hadn't eaten all day. Why do we do that, y'all? Why do we do that? You know, like how when you be having, Thanksgiving, like honestly, like when you wake up in the morning, you be like, I don't want nothing but a cup of coffee, okay? Or maybe a glass of water because I'm about to go over grandma's house and I'm about to throw down. I smelled the pasta softening in the boiling water and I knew it wouldn't be long. It's dinner time, my father finally sang. I jumped up and rushed to sit at the small formica table in the kitchen. Hatee, with a famous red wig and a red printed caftan to match, was on a tangent, telling some story only the grown-ups would be interested in. It didn't matter because Mariah was like, I don't give about what them grown-ups thinking about. I don't care. I just want this food. She's sitting there waiting for her father to bring her the plate. The father puts the plate down in front of her. She like, ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Grab her two more. Put this on there. As I was picking up my fork, Hatee, who had not paused in her story to take a breath, whipped out a green canister of grated Parmesan cheese and proceeded to shake its unsavory, powdery contents all over my elegant, fresh linguine. No! I screamed in horror, but it was too late. My plate was covered with it. My father never put the cheese on white clam sauce. I ran to the bathroom and slammed the door and exploded into tears. Now, I don't know about that, Mariah. You're doing a little too much over the food, but I get it. What's wrong with Mariah? What's wrong with her? What's wrong with that little girl? You better make her eat that food, Roy. You better make her lead it. Don't nobody waste food around here. She don't pay no damn bills. Mariah, get your ass out here and eat this damn chicken noodle soup or cacciatore, whatever the hell your father is making. Occasionally, we would go to Lime Rock Park, a racetrack in Connecticut. It was a slightly more glamorous experience than a typical NASCAR venue. Paul Newman had a team there, and world-class drivers like Mario Andretti were regulars. I found the racetrack pretty boring, but going to the races was a favorite activity for Alfred Roy, and he made all of his kids join him. This was one rare thing we kids all could agree on. Cars going around and round in a circle wasn't high entertainment. Why you want to go to Hershey Park now? You always at work, Mama. I'm busy. I got something to do. I'm a teenager. It's a boy over there I think is cute. I want to do that, right? But all it is just experiences that your parents want to share with you, okay? And I think you should appreciate them, while you have them. Because once your parents are gone, baby, they're gone. All right, and you will lose a piece of you. Whether or not they was good parents or bad parents, you will definitely lose a piece of you. When we were on our drives or at the racetrack, I was often just around while he did regular adult things. While he listened to or watched football, which he loved, and which I found extremely boring, I would be close by, quietly reading or drawing, observing the ways of an adult. My father did have a few books just for me in his house. The one I remember most distinctly was about a little black boy who was blind. The cover was white with large red, orange, and yellow circles. It was full of colors and told the story of a boy who saw the world through touching and feeling shapes rather than through color. When I think of the storybook, I think of Stevie Wonder. Reading it, I wondered if this was the reason why Stevie Wonder would create such vivid worlds and emotions through his songs. He would sing without eyes. He would sing with his soul. Y'all something. Stevie Wonder is funkier than 9 cans of shaving powder. You hear me? Not this new neat shit or nash shit, whatever it is we use, to take the hair off our legs and poom. Okay, but you got to be careful with that because, you mess around, get that, neat or nail up in the wrong hole, girl. You in damage. You damaged. Have y'all ever heard superstitious? Very superstitious. Hey, writings on the wall. Hey, very superstitious. He is beyond a genius. I believe he writes songs from a holy place. I think that having this book about the blind black boy was one way my father attempted to introduce the concepts of racism and perception to me, because we really didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about the shades and the shapes of us. Perception was also very important to my father. Once, while drawing alongside him on a quiet Sunday afternoon, I made what I thought was a very clever cartoon. It was a picture of our family with the caption, "They're weird, but they're okay." But when I showed it to my father, he got upset because the father is already super hypersensitive, right? He and his feelings. What you mean this family is weird? What you trying to say? Well, his perspective on it is different because he's already damaged. She's not coming from a place of, like negativity. She understands that her family is different, but she's not saying weird as in weird. She's saying it more so as different. I never intended to offend him. In fact, I wanted to delight him. I felt really bad that day, but the heavy load he carried, his deep desire to be accepted as a full human being, was something I wouldn't learn about until much later. Something I am still trying to make peace with. I wish that her father felt more confident with just being accepted within himself. Because so far what I'm reading from the book is that her father really wants to be accepted by white America. He wants his children and his wife, his just whole family dynamic to be accepted by white America. At the time, I didn't have the language to tell him that weird was how I felt. I don't think my father understood how different we were from everyone in the neighborhoods I lived in with my mother. It was weird to be living in a makeshift apartment on top of a deli where everyone else lived in a house. We lived in a small commercial section of Northport where there was a strip of stores on the ground level of a cluster of Victorian houses. They were small town businesses, a bicycle shop, maybe a general store, and then the deli. A staircase alongside the deli's entrance led up to the small, dim, railroad-styled apartment where I lived with my mother and Morgan. I had a room at the end of the hall, no bigger than a typical walk-in closet. The apartment was small. The floors were covered in pea green carpeting, and the walls and doors were thin. The sound of laughing and voices often kept me awake at night. I had very few things in the tiny room that brought me comfort. The most precious gifts, perhaps, were gifts from my father. A little ceramic bunny and a sweet molasses-colored teddy bear named Cuddles, which I kept until it was destroyed many years later after a flood in Manhattan apartments that was on top of a bar and nightclub. Apparently, there are levels to living on top of an establishment, and I have gone through them all. Even with Cuddles by my side, I frequently had nightmares, and it was in that dismal apartment where my troubles with sleep first began. Even with Cuddles by my side, I frequently had nightmares, and it was in that dismal apartment where my troubles with sleep first began. I don't recall anyone else living around there, and there were certainly no other black people for miles. Morgan's was the only Afro in sight. People feel safer in white neighborhoods, but that ain't true. That ain't true, because the gentrification to knock that completely out. Because I swear, it's doctors right here And then you got the projects right here. They still killing each other in the projects, but it don't stop the white folks from walking their dogs past the projects. They just be around it. It be crazy. When I be back home around 6:40 and I'm on the block, I'm like, why is that white lady coming over here? They be drunk as shit, right? And they be wandering over to the projects. I say, look at these bitches. They want to get some of that dope dealer dick, don't they? Ooh, I don't blame them, because ain't nothing like old sexy black dope dealer until that ninja get locked up, okay? Or until he crash your car, or until he steal your purse. But in this situation, it's different, because who are you looking out for, Mom? Are you looking out for yourself, or are you looking out for your children? Once after he got in trouble, my mother meekly admonished him to stay in his room. Shortly after, the owner of the deli downstairs called my mother to inform her that he was watching her son jump from rooftop to rooftop above the other stores. Snitch. Snitch. More.
Say hello, black hole. Say hello. Hey, I say hello. See this brother winning, man. Hey, look, what is it win, babe? What is it win, babe? What is it win, babe? Count cities. What the fuck? What is it win, babe? Uptown, Southside, come on.
Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, y'all better have a good one. Look, my wife is, oh, you can't even see it. But anyway, my wife is doing our deck. She too cheap, you know, she a Virgo, to pay somebody to do it. So she got shit all over the daggone house. And I can't even, you know, take my video in peace because she got shiz all over the house.